Hey guys, Missy Kitten here. I just was gonna make this video to just kind of give an update on, for those who care about how I was feeling. Uh, yeah, since the last time that I did this, or that I made this a video at all, not the video game one, but previous to that, I'm still pretty much feeling the same. I'm trying to get through the day, so it's not completely easy, but I have tried to, I've come up with new tactics, kind of, like, I'm always ending up being, like, the pushover everywhere, so, like, with anyone in my life, so I've kind of decided that I'm going to just start speaking my mind and start saying when something is bothering me, or say when something, like, whenever I'm getting, like, pushed around or something. I mean, I think my biggest thing is that there's a number of factors in the reason that I'm feeling the way that I am. And one of my friends, she thought it was a phase. She's like, well, it's just a phase, like, you'll get through it. And I'm like, I don't think so, because it's literally been like 5 months since I felt like this. 5-6 months when I started feeling like this. So it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, like I've said previous, it's a combination of, missing my dad, who died last year. It's a combination of missing my ex, who, I don't know why, I'm still deciding to chase, and he will not answer. So as much as I try, I'm trying to give up at the same time. But I know, like, so I don't know what it is. I think I sometimes over romanticize things. So it's like, yeah, because I broke up with you, like, you're gonna, want me like 6 months later, and we're gonna try again, and we're gonna be fine. And no, that's not the case. Like, it's literally like nothing. Like, it's literally just like, oh, I really don't give a shit about you or whatever anymore. Bye. I mean, I didn't even get the chance to ask if we could be friends either, but I knew that was gonna go down a bad road too, because his best friend would get involved anyway. And then there's like a number of other factors too, that, I don't like the way that I look. My sister, she's getting married next year. I'm almost 30. I've been in one relationship that went so shitty that it was good and it was bad, but there were so many more bad times than good that, and then I keep thinking, I would never know what to do in a good relationship even if I had one. I'm so sick of having kind of a one-sided friendship where you kind of feel like you put more into it than somebody else, and then they kind of, use you, and they or they think like they got some kind of perception of you, and you just, they're so used to it that they, are like, oh yeah, she's gonna be totally fine, or this or that. I'm tired of it. I mean, I've tried to be, I'm starting to think that even, like, the work friends thing isn't even real. Like, I've had a couple girlfriends that I thought were my friends that I met through work. And one time I hung out with this girl. She was my first friend from work. And, we were fine, and she didn't live here originally, so at one point she had to go back home, and whatever, so I threw her a goodbye party, and one point she came back. I didn't even know she was back. Another time I did, because she surprised me here at my place, but then she's like, well, let's go for a drink, let's go do this, and I didn't hear anything from her. you know, and then I kind of cut the ties without saying anything, so that's kind of my bad, but you know, what can you do? I mean, she made fun of me because, I remember hanging out with her, and, like, it was at her place that she lives at, whatever, when she's here, and she used to smoke pot. She might still, but she used to, and she, you know, took a toke, and then, whatever, and then made fun of me in front of her friends because I didn't smoke weed. So she was like, well, that's kind of odd for where we're living, and because my hometown is basically, you know, there's drug dealers. I don't know, I think they're all the homeless though, mostly, and whatever, and you can basically get stuff here all around, like, basically. So for her it was really, really weird. But then when I, like, started dating my ex, when we first started, I kind of started getting into the edibles a little bit, so I wasn't really so that's what I got more familiar with, because the story behind that is that he needed them for pain. Because of his disability, he had a pain. He had some pain. So he ends up using weed as, you know, kind of a helper. And he had gotten from a family friend some pot cookies, basically. He left them behind, and he texts me, and he goes, hey, sorry, one sec. Sorry. Yeah, he basically texts me and goes like, hey babe, can you put these in the freezer? So he could basically pick them up the next time that he's around. And I did that, and then I was mad at him. I can't remember why. It might have been the way he just left. I'm not 100% sure. But, anyway, so I ended up eating, like, his pot cookies on him. And he wasn't mad at me, but he was surprised. And then when I finally, one of my friends, well, co-workers or whatever who used to work with me, was able to get some pot cookies, I got some from her, and I remember being completely chill on them. I was fine. And he tried them, and he's like, he's looking at me, and he's hanging off my couch, kind of leaning against it, and he's like, hey babe, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm good. I was completely chill. I was like, how are you? And he's like, I'm high. Like, he was like gone. Like, he didn't remember a lot of what he had said. Like, he was basically like, I'm never doing this again. Like, I'm never getting this high again. Blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, he enjoyed it, I thought, for the most part. But, no, part of it is, too, is that I think since I'm off the pot cookies for now, I have been for, like, a couple months. I think it's been at least 2 months. It's kind of mellowed me out. Like, it's not necessarily mellowed me out, but it's brought my worries back. My head, like, 24/7 things go through my head. I mean, like I was saying about my sister, like, she's, like I said, 2 years younger. She's getting married next year. Well, I've been in one relationship that went to shit throughout the year or whatever, however you count that. And we didn't stay together. I broke up with him. Like, it was just, you know, and that kind of thing makes you think about things. Like, being almost 30, like, it's scary enough. But being only in one relationship and then not feeling wanted by people. Like, I mean, I had a conversation with a coworker, too, where she was practically bragging a little bit because she had, a coworker that used to work with us wanting her, and then somebody else wanting her, and it was just like, what the fuck? Like, I literally was just kind of like, oh yeah, well, I'd go for this guy because I didn't know the other one, but I was like, yeah, I'd go, for the old coworker, whatever. I thought he was cute, but I guess he had been texting her going like, yeah, I thought like you liked me and blah 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 blah, and it was like, and half the time I think, what's the point? I try to be nice to people. I think for myself, like I'm socially awkward. So it's kind of like, because I've got all this crap going on in my head, that I'm just like, no, nobody's looking in my direction. Like, they don't think I'm cute, blah, blah, blah. And it was funny, too, because last night I was working. And I was working till 9. And my crush from high school walks by me. He's probably not going to see this, but his name is Misha. And we went to school together, at least high school together, and I had a huge crush on him all those years. Well, he shows up last night, and he walks by me, and I had to look at him again to figure out that it was him, and I did, and he looked over at me, and then he just kept walking. And I'm just like, and I'm texting a couple coworkers, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, my high school crush just walked by, blah, 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 blah. And, when I finally, got to tell, like, the manager that evening, who was also my boss in meat department where I work, she was just like, move on, it's a high school crush. And it's like, yeah, but the thing is, though, too, is, like, for me, I mean, he was kind of mean, but he was kind of a sweetheart at the same time. So I think with me, though, it's not all about, it's a little bit about looks. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit conceited. But it's just something about brown eyes and brown hair that I don't know what it is. And my ex didn't look like that at all. I think the only thing that I fell for was exactly like when I fell for his best friend, was the lines. I think it was because too, he had a tattoo, and my high school crush, he didn't have any tattoos as far as I know. He was just strong. Like, he had abs. I remember seeing, because he lifted up his shirt and you could see like a bit on his stomach, and you just kind of like swoon. And I'm like, and I was texting them, and I was just like, I was texting like a couple of my coworkers, and I basically go, you know what? He's not gonna know me from a hole in the wall. Even if I said to him, hey Misha, he would look at me like I have no clue who the hell you are. Which, I mean, it's like, basically when I was in high school, and it still kind of carries on, I was a quiet girl, kind of shy, even though now I'm thinking about it, it wasn't so much shy as it was, I was picky about who I was talking to. Only because it's like I get shut down, not even listened to when I'm talking half the time, or like tuned out. So I'm just like, okay, well, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna tape my mouth shut. I'm not gonna say a word, like, whatever. And that's what I feel like doing half the time, because I'm just like, well, this isn't, I'm not the most interesting person. I mean, I can't do it. Like, it's hard for me like, I'm kind of an emotional person, so when something happens or someone ignores me or whatever, I take it to heart. Unfortunately, I take a lot of things to heart. That's probably why the breakup with my ex is still affecting me, even though I'm the one that did it. But the thing is that I'm so tired of not being heard that I'm literally just like, you know what, I'm shutting off my emotions. Basically, it's like the vampires in Vampire Diaries, where you kind of go, okay, you know what, you're going to say this to my face, and then you're going to be like, okay, shut it off. And that's what I want to kind of try to do, and not react as much to it as I can. But the problem is, though, too, is that I don't feel like I'm looked at as a person. I look like a 27-year-old girl. I feel like I'm getting looked at like I'm 6 years old, trying to tell you that, you know, I'm either upset, I'm angry, I want to tell you something that's exciting. I mean, like I was saying, I'm not the most interesting person. If you've seen most of my videos, you know, some are completely random, like that Taylor Swift rant thing that I went on. But a lot of it is, you know, I'm trying to focus right now on my game room. It's coming along slowly. It's not perfect yet, but I have a surprise whenever it comes. I have ordered a few things from Wish, and I will be doing a video on that because I got a few collectibles that I'm really excited about. But, I mean, most of the time I'm trying to talk about, you know, video games. I'm addicted to Mario games, so I'm kind of like, okay, let's see if I can add something to the conversation. I have 3 kittens. That's some of my conversation too. Like, I'm not the most fascinating person because I've lost a lot of interest in things that I used to love, like reading and writing. I mean, occasionally too. Oh, sorry. Occasionally too, like, I have written my own songs, but I don't put them to music. When I want to sing, I get on YouTube and I find my favorite song and I sing along to it, whether I can sing or I can't. So, I don't know, the only problem is too, is like almost everyone around me is in a relationship, and they talk about a relationship, or they talk about, you know, one night stands, or like a number of people wanting them, or something like that. I mean, most of the people I work with are teenagers anyway, so of course it's like, oh, well, this guy wants me, and then this guy wants me too, and blah, 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 blah. Like, it's crazy, because it's just like, you know, I'm sitting there just trying to put a smile on my face, and it's like, nobody's wanted me since I broke up with my ex. I mean, the only one that did, he wanted me when I was still dating my ex. So, or when we were first not quite sure what we were, that's when he wanted me. And I asked him, like, when we broke up at one point, I remember asking him, like, hey, let's go to dinner, and he shows up with his girlfriend, who was his previous girlfriend. So I'm not exactly feeling like 100% good about myself. I mean, I don't know. I just, with different things about my body, like my face, like there's still acne on my face. Like I've always had this on the side of my face, but it was a lot worse. It was all over. And I've luckily not quite as bad as I was, but it's like all in here, and it doesn't make me feel very good. I looked at my stomach when I got changed this morning. I'm not pregnant, but it looks like I'm pregnant. Like, it looks like I'm like 3 months pregnant. I'm like, where the hell did this come from? You know, I've always had this little bit of a stomach, and now I'm looking down and I'm like, oh my god, like I literally look like I'm 3 months pregnant. And I'm like, well, luckily I can hide this, because if somebody sees this, they could possibly ask me, are you pregnant? And I could be like, no. Because I'm not a huge fan of like the way that I look and the way, and I mean, what I want to do too, at least what I want to try to do, is get rid of the acne completely and lose some in my stomach from my sister's wedding. But the thing is that I discovered too is that when I'm sad or when I'm upset or whatever, and not even those two sometimes, I turn to like crap like this for comfort. And it goes all in my stomach, which makes me look like I'm like 3 months pregnant. I mean, at some point, I'm gonna look like this, and they're gonna be like, what the hell? Like, I don't know. I think another part of it too is like jealousy, because my sister, I've always compared people to my sister, myself to people. You know, my sister, she's tall and she's skinny. Well, I'm basically my mom's twin. Where I got the curves, I got her eyes, I got her blonde hair. Yes, I'm naturally blonde, but you don't see it right now. I'm kind of a reddish brunette. Yeah, my sister's tall and skinny. The rest of my family is pretty much taller than I am. I stand at a measly 5'1", so I'm kind of like, ugh. I've compared myself to girls I went to school with. There's this girl named Shelby that I went to school with. I'm not gay, but she's absolutely amazing. Amazingly beautiful. And I keep comparing myself to her, and I go, I am never going to look like that. I'm never going to look like this, and I'm never going to look how she does. There was this girl named Emily I went to school with. Gorgeous girl, too. I look at them whenever they pass me, and they were kind of bitches, first of all, too, though, so they wouldn't say a whole lot, but whenever they did talk to you, or like, I've had Shelby talk to me at least once or twice when I used to work at my old job, but whenever she did, I would get like very intimidated, because I would be like, yeah, I'm never gonna look like you. Like, I do not, honestly, and I hate admitting this, I do not like myself. I've never been a fan of myself, and I think it's like, another thing is too, is that I constantly get criticized for little things. Personality wise, like, it's just, unless like I do like something like drastic, like I get like plastic surgery or something to fix. I mean, I said to a friend the other day too, like, I was like, at this point I would rather be anorexic. Like, I would rather be like this in the unhealthy way than be curvy and be the way that I am. Because even then, I'm like, well, I'm not going to let anybody see me naked until like I'm skinnier. And I keep thinking, well, okay, you know, who's going to be doing that? It's not going to be my ex. So it's kind of like, he was the only one, though, that I got comfortable enough to do this. I think it was like the first time we met, it was like, it was just weird, because it was just very like, we were awkward with each other, and then we were fine. And, you know, he didn't know how to ask me to sleep in the bed with him, and I just did it on my own, and I was naked. So, I mean, I remember telling him many, many times, I said, you know, I'm surprised that you haven't traded up. Like, I'm really surprised. And he kept asking me why. He would tell me I was pretty, and I'm just like, I don't believe it. Like, with compliments, that's another thing, is that I'm so fucking weird with compliments that it's just like, somebody could say, oh, I like your makeup today. It really brings out your eyes. I know this looks like crap right now. It looked a lot better before, but I had a headache this morning. It's still kind of there, so it's not the best. But, and they'd say that, and I kind of think about it for a second and go, why? Like, my overthinking brain would go, yeah, well, you know, why is this person saying this? Or why? Even when I dyed my hair, I got like 5 compliments on it, and they were like, oh, look how pretty you are, like, look at this, da, da, da. And, oh, that looks really pretty on you, it brings out your eyes, and blah, 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 blah. And I didn't know how to take it. I would get really weird, like embarrassed weird, and then be able to kind of mouth like, thank you. And I just kind of went like, you know, every time I get a compliment, I go like, in my head, I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm trying to work on that, and I'm trying not to like shut down completely, even though I want to. I'm kind of glad though, my vacation's in like a week. I get another tattoo done, kind of like the one on my shoulder, but this one I didn't design, so it's really pretty, and hopefully I'll be able to do a video on that. But I'm sorry guys for ranting. I was wondering if anybody was curious about how I was feeling, if they've seen that previous video, so kind of worried or had any questions, or were asking, you know, if you know Dark Divine Gaming, asking her if she knew how I was and whatever. And, you know, I wanted to update it myself, since it has been like 2-3 days since I uploaded not my new video game video, but the other one. So I kind of wanted to update. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, or at least watch it. And don't forget to subscribe so you can see more of whatever is coming next, especially when I'm on my vacation, and see my tattoo, and see, you know, wonder how I'm feeling, if I'll get any better with like 9 days off. So yeah, just hit the button below and click the bell and subscribe.